So a few days ago I made a story video on how a guy tried to sell me LSD down in the street, and today I thought it would be a good idea to make another story video about another crazy experience that I had. So today's crazy experience takes us back a month and a half ago, roughly, to a school trip abroad in Paris. And this was, it was just an ordinary school trip really. There was nothing mental happening. We were out. We were in a hostel, we'd gone and seen the Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe, we'd gone on the metro, things like that. And we decided, the school was supposed to be taking us to the Sacre-Coeur for the day. This was the third day, I believe, or the fourth day. Can't quite remember. It was either the third day or the fourth day, which would have been the second last day, so the day before we went home. It was actually, because we went to Disneyland the day after. So, on that day, we were supposed to go to Sacre-Coeur, but I don't really know what happened, to be honest. I just don't think the teachers could be bothered or whatever. So what happened to us instead was we got placed on this random street in the middle of nowhere. And you might be thinking, oh, you got placed in a street near Sacre-Coeur, it's probably quite nice. In fact, it kind of seemed more like a slum, to be honest. Maybe not a slum, but there was like shops with no windows, shops that literally just had clothes just all dirty and sitting out the front, and folk just took them to wear. Like, it wasn't as if they paid for them when they should have. They were just stealing them and stuff. And they let about 40 or 50 kids walk about this place. Keep in mind we were about 15, 14 at this time. Walk around Paris by themselves, and you'd think, well, to be honest, that it wasn't all bad. There was some really nice places, where we were. One group went to McDonald's and just sat there for a few hours, but most groups decided to walk around for a bit. So what we done, I was in a group. We didn't get assigned groups. We just kind of went in groups, and I was with 6 friends. And it started out normal. We were just going into shops, messing about. It was just really funny guy with a Subway banner that kept on trying to point to Subway, but he couldn't find Subway, even though it was right beside him, which I found quite funny. But first of all, we went up to a love triangle. I don't know what it was called. It was a love tree or a love area or something. I don't know. It was really boring, but just had to wait because one of the people wanted a picture. But after that, we decided to walk about for a bit, and eventually we decided to go up and see the Sacre-Coeur. Now, you'd think that when getting placed in the dodgy street that the dodgy thing would happen, but in actual fact it was when we got to the Sacre-Coeur that the dodgy thing happened. And once again, it was similar to the LSD time, for me anyway. So, what happened was, I think one person had split off from the group at this point, so there was 5 of us now, I believe. Yes, there was 5 of us. And we were walking up the stairs to go to Sacre-Coeur when 4 tall black men decided to approach us. And what they started asking was, where do you come from? And at this point, most of my friends knew something was wrong, and 2 of them actually decided to run away, which was smart, but 2 of the other friends didn't, and I just didn't know what the hell was happening. And they started asking us, where do you come from? What is your name and all that? And then what I didn't notice was that they'd started like tying a bangle around me at this time. And my 2 friends had a bangle, were getting bangles tied around them as well. And I think my friends, knew there was something up. Me, being the idiot I am, like the LSD moment, I didn't know anything was up at all. I was just letting this guy wrap a bangle about me. I literally thought I was getting a free bangle, which is really stupid. So the guy starts wrapping the bangle around me, and he just starts asking like, where I was from. I told him Scotland, and he said, Ireland, that's very nice, yeah, when I'm not from Ireland. He said, you ginger, that's very cool, yeah. 'Cause I'm ginger, obviously, by saying that. And then he's just started going on about Hakuna Matata from The Lion King for no reason. And he kept on going on about that because he was African. But I don't know, Maybe Lion King was set where he's from. I've got no idea where the Lion King's set. I've got no idea where this guy was from. I just know it's in the general vicinity of Africa, which is quite a big landscape, quite a big area. Could be anywhere in that area that he was from. So once they'd stopped tying these bangles around us, they were like they forced us for £5, and I still didn't think anything was up at this time, so I gave them £5. And all my friends started making a big fuss about it, and I was just like, what was wrong? And then they were like, we just got scammed, didn't we? And then it occurred to me that I just got scammed by three big black guys sitting outside the Sacre-Coeur. But I didn't really care, because I had this cool looking bangle. It was black and red, mine was. One of them got a red and white one, red, white and blue for France. I don't know what the other one was. But what happened after was a few other people from the school got kind of hit with the bangle as well. And what happened for the next 3 hours was, it was pretty funny, but I don't really know if it sounds that funny or not. Basically, we went to a cafe to get some I think it was something chocolate. I think it was a pan au chocolat or something. At least that's what I got. And we found another group in there, and one of the girls was really mad. And because she was saying that these people raped her by putting this bangle around her, they had sexually abused her, and that she would be able to she would be able to sue them because they've sexually abused her. And we all found this hilarious because obviously she's not been sexually abused. They just put a bangle around her hand. Like, come on, it's not really a big deal. They just scammed you for £5. It's not as if they put it at knife point or killed anybody. And there was a few other people that were quite scared as well. But when we came outside, we started seeing all these other girls, like the year below us, and they were all like crying and stuff. And this person who got raped told us all, "Oh, let's all go back to the middle and wait for people for 2 hours." So what happened was, we were in a big group of like 20 or 30 now, and we're just walking around Paris trying to find the bus, which we couldn't find. And eventually, my wee group decided to split off again because we were bored just walking about. And so we went back up to the Sacre-Coeur to see what was happening, and we see these exact same 4 guys sitting down at a wee. It was a wee arch. I don't know, like it was the stairs, and they were under the stairs, and they were sitting there sniffing. So obviously, I could tell by the fact that they were sniffing that they were doing lines on the stairs at the Sacre-Coeur. I found this pretty funny. These guys scammed us just so they could go and do some lines. Now, there was actually somebody, I think they got scammed about £15 or something. So that is quite big, like, €15. That is quite big, but it's just kind of funny that all these people were making such a big deal, and then all they wanted was, it wasn't as if they were hurting us or anything. But after that, folk just started going mental. Like, we got back to the middle, and folk just started going mental. There was folk crying that they were getting raped. There was folk were like literally shouting at each other as if it was like a life or death situation. The person that got raped was, every time she saw a black man, she'd run away from them, which was pretty racist. But we didn't really care. We couldn't be bothered with it, so we decided just to go back up to Subway. And the guy was still there, trying to find Subway. Going, Subway, you want Subway? And yeah, that's basically what he was like. And then we decided we met up with another person after that, and then we kind of went to a shop. And when we came back out, the girl that got raped got really mad at us, and she just started shouting at us for no reason, just because we went to a shop. And what ensued for the next hour was just us sitting there waiting for the bus to go back home. And then the next day, the teachers found out, and then the next day, you'd think, oh, well, they've just found out that a really big situation's just happened. Maybe they're gonna, do something about it. Next day, they let us roam around Disneyland for 9 hours by ourselves, which, by the way, was one of the most boring experiences of my entire life. But, I mean, that week, that made it sound horrible. The funny thing was, that was actually the best day there. It was the most fun day that I'd had there. The staying in the hostel was also quite fun too. The Arc de Triomphe in the first day is quite good, but the Eiffel Tower was really crap and disappointing, to be honest. But if you ever go to France, don't go and see all the landmarks. Just go to one of the really dodgy streets, because there'll be tons of stuff happening there. And it was, although it was a bit dodgy, it was actually kind of interesting as well, to be honest. Going through the streets, it kind of, I don't know, it felt more normal than all the posh places. Like, it felt more down to earth. It was more kind of my thing, to be honest. And we're lucky we didn't go the other way, because if we'd gone the other way, then we'd have been, like, instead of the Sacre-Coeur, if we'd gone away from the Sacre-Coeur, there was this massive, like, sex street. And so it was like, well, what was better in the end? Was it better giving these guys £5 to do drugs, or is it better going to this dodgy sex street? So in the end, I think we actually accidentally made the best option out of all this. But yeah, that was basically all I wanted to say. I don't think this is as good as the guy that got the LSD, but it's still an interesting story about some guys. Last time the guy was trying to sell me drugs, this time the guys were trying to buy me drugs. That's all. I do have a few more interesting stories that I might tell you. They're mostly from my childhood though, because, I lived in a rough area when I was a child, so I could talk about some kind of things there, I guess. But that's all for today. Thank you for watching this video. Please tell me if you liked it, by the way, in the comments, so I know if I should do more of these or if they're kind of crap. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.